All right. So today is, in fact, today's January 17th, Friday, in 2020. So the first one in the 2020, and we have a Longhorn community meeting. And what we are in the agenda right now is first item, we're going to review our outline documents, and we're going to review our 0.8 release milestones. And if there are any other questions, we'll be happy to answer them. So let's go through them one by one. So as a part of ongoing effort to say improve our documents, so we decide to hierarchize the document index in our documents. So currently the document is like this. It's not finalized yet, but with CNCF's help, and we do have a very nice UI, and we are starting working on the just clean up the documents and put it more hierarchical so we can better organize it. So Jason is helping with the effort, and we do have a great structure in the end. Let me see if we can. Yeah. So hey, Jason, what's the progress on the documents now?
So once we finalize that, I'm just going to reorganize them in the website. Essentially it'll be a two-part process. The first part is I'll reorganize them into this current hierarchy with the current documents we have. Then the second step of the process will be to add some documents in to fill in some of the gaps that are in this list but not in the current documentation, and also to bring over the information that was in the architectural blog post on Rancher's website into the documentation as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. So I'm okay with this document structure here, and I would say next step is we're going to just fill it and just reorganize it according to this issue, and we're moving from there.
All right. Well, I will set myself a goal to have this done, at least to have it restructured with some issues filled into GitHub, with the documents to be written by the time we meet next month.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So our next item is what's happening in our current development process. So our next release will be 0.8 release. One moment. In fact, I need to re-enable this in order to get the ZenHub. Yes. So as I mentioned before, we're using ZenHub to manage our development process. So if you're looking at 0.8 release, we're not really that far away from the release, but in fact, we do have a few features we want to highlight. One is the new live upgrade feature we are currently working on. And in the previous release, since the 0.6 release, we have introduced the instance manager. So we don't need to start separate pods for each engine and replicas, so we are going to save some resources on the Kubernetes pod, which is because they have a limitation of only 110 pods per node. So we are doing great on that perspective, but in the live upgrade part, since we changed the ways how we start in the process, the Longhorn engine process, the live upgrade become more complex at this moment. So we're working on the live upgrade v2 to make it easier and usable for user in the next 0.8 release. So the basic concept is we are trying to minimize the change to the instance manager itself and focus on that, enable Longhorn engine to have ability to upgrade itself. So without the involvement of the instance manager. So currently, in order to do the live upgrade, instance manager need to get involved, has a bunch of API calls back and forth with the engine. So we want to eliminate that as a target for this feature. So another feature, we have prioritized the recently is we're going to support Kubernetes zone and region tags. And in order to support better, to provide better support for the scenario like EKS or GKE, which they have, they do have a persistent disk or EBS support for the Kubernetes clusters, but due to the limitation of their Kubernetes, of their say cloud infrastructure, the EBS, for example, the EBS volume have to be reside in the same availability zone as the node. But by default, the EKS, the Amazon Kubernetes service, is going to span across multiple zones. So that will have a problem if one node contains the volume. In fact, if one availability zone is going down, and any volumes contained in that zone will be down. So after we add support for the Kubernetes zones and the region tags, which is basically on sync with the Amazon availability zones, so we can support that to use Longhorn to provide persistent storage across different AZs. So even in that situation, even you have a full of AZ goes down, Longhorn should still able to provide the storage support for the new pod spin out by the Kubernetes in the other AZ, which is not doable in the original cloud provider setup like GKE or EKS. So we recently decided to prioritize this feature because this is one of the another selling point. Another highlight we want to highlight Longhorn is that it's very flexible and it can support, as long as you are in the same Kubernetes cluster, we provide the support for high availability. We don't have a limitation that we don't have the limitation of spinning across AZs. So that is one advantage of Longhorn. So we want to highlight that. Other than that, so say those are the two major features we are still working on in the 0.8 release. And currently, I will expect the 0.8 release coming out sometime next month. And the 0.8 release will be the, we designed that to be the last feature release of the before Longhorn GA. After that, we'll be focusing on fixing bugs and stabilize this Longhorn to reach GA 1.0 release. So that's the current situation on the 0.8 release. Okay, so Jason, anything we want to add on?
I have nothing additional to add, and nor any questions.
Okay. All right. So I will say that today is a quick meeting, and thank you everybody for attending. And we'll see you next month, and hopefully that hopefully we're going to get 0.8 release around the time as well. All right, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
See you. Bye bye.